In a first since Pran Pratishtha of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, the Uttar Pradesh government is preparing for a historic Guinness World Record attempt by lighting nearly 28 lakh diyas in Ayodhya on Deepotsav. Alongside this feat, there is another record that will be attempted during the festival's aarti, with over 1,100 Vedacharyas set to perform the largest aarti together on Saryu Ghat. The Chief Minister has extended his warm greetings on the auspicious occasion and deemed it a moment of pride for all. Over 10 lakh tourists have arrived in Ayodhya to witness this momentous celebration. Joining me on the telecast very shortly are going to be my colleagues, my reporters who are on the ground in different parts of Ayodhya covering this event for you. Visuals on your screens at the present moment in Ayodhya. It's a wide-angled helicopter shot, and you see the entire Ayodhya is lit with lights and with lamps, and those are some stunning visuals. Beautiful lighting that at this point of time illuminates Ayodhya. Ayodhya has this historical, cultural, religious significance. It was on this day that Lord Ram and Sita returned home to Ayodhya, and the people of Ayodhya, the locals, came together to celebrate and decided to light lamps on the occasion of the arrival of their king, Lord Ram. On the telecast with me, let me start with Sumit Peer. Sumit, a Guinness World Record is going to be set very shortly, when hundreds and thousands and lakhs of these diyas are going to be lit up and illuminate entire Ayodhya.
Jai Siya Ram. Because what we are doing today is history in making, because this is the first Deepavali which has come after 550 years, when Bhagwan, Lord Sri Ram is back to his Ayodhya, and you and me are lucky to be a part of this presentation, because it's a history. This will never happen again, because this is the first year. You know, this diyas, this Vedacharyas and all, this is claiming Hindutva, this is claiming Rodlam, Tan Hindu, Man Hindu, Vachan Hindu, Hindustan hai Hindu because of Hindu. Hindu is the bedrock of the civilization, and that ethos, that belief in Bhagwan Sri Ram is being reinstated, is being put to the world fame by Manani Mukhyamantri Yogi Adityanath ji. It is not about 1100 Vedacharyas or 28 lakh diyas. It is making a mark. It is letting the world know what we have waited for 550 years. Why so many people laid their lives, and it is also a time to pay tributes to all those people, and you know, wherever they are in heaven, to join our hands and say that thank you, because of this it was made possible. And on this date, you have to compliment Prime Minister Modi, you have to compliment Amit Shah ji, you have to compliment BJP for making this possible, because otherwise it was a distant dream, and it happened in your and my lifetime. Is again, we are lucky and privileged to be a part of this. So this is history in making. This is phenomenal. This is to tell to the world that this is what is the relevance of Ayodhya for us. Muslims have Makkah, Christians have Vatican, and we have Ayodhya ji. And what you are rightly saying, 10 lakh tourists are already there, 1 million tourists. And we have around I don't know how many crore people have visited Ayodhya so far. I know it is the most visited tourist destination in the whole world now. This ethos, this lighting of diyas, this Ved part and 1100 acharyas and all is very, very important, because everybody knows Makkah, everybody knows about Vatican. I compliment Yogi Adityanath ji, who is putting all his efforts and all the organization to let it go to the world, because tomorrow it will be a world news. As a moment of fact, when it is a Guinness record, it will be a part of the world news. A lot of newspaper agencies, a lot of papers, a lot of channels across the world will be covering this, because that is the way to give Ayodhya ji the rightful place that it deserves, and we are doing our best to do that. And this is the effort.
Okay, all right. I also have with me Ravi Bhatt. Ravi Bhatt, if you can hear me. Do we have with us Ravi Bhatt? Ravi Bhatt, can you hear me? All right, we'll try to fix that audio glitch. But coming back to you, Sumit, I'm going to take a larger perspective. Yes, there is a religious significance. Yes, it is about Hindu pride. But let's also take a look at how Diwali is celebrated universally. It is a people-to-people connect. It is a cultural significance that at this point in time is acknowledged and recognized and celebrated. Whether it is President Joe Biden sitting in White House and holding that gathering on the occasion, whether it is about Rishi Sunak or Keir Starmer lighting the diya at 10 Downing Street. these are moments that then symbolize that the diaspora, the millions and millions of Indians that are not just living in India but across the globe have assimilated themselves to the countries, to the people across the globe, and there is this connect which transcends the boundaries, transcends the territories, transcends the borders.
Megha ji, you're absolutely right, because when we look at President Joe Biden, when we look at Keir Starmer, when we look at other world leaders, and everywhere in the world Diwali is celebrating, what is this? This is the goodwill which we bring to the table. This is our great tradition, our great ethos, and wherever Hindus have gone and wherever moreover Indians have gone, we have been nation builders, we have been contributors, we build things. Wherever our diaspora lives, they are our brand ambassadors, what the Honorable Prime Minister rightly said. And these all people bring us laurels, they bring us fame. Our Sundar Pichai or anybody for that matter, all these people are known for the fantastic achievements which they have done. But whatever their passport may be, whichever part of the world they might live in, but Hindustan dil mein hai. And when it is Deepavali, when it is Bhagwan Shri Ram, that is in the hearts and minds. And this fact that the people across the world are celebrating Diwali, they are liking the ethos. This is the greatness of our culture. This is the greatness of our traditions. And Diwali is a festival of peace. This is about lights. This is about good versus, victory of good over evil. This is how about you have to keep on refining the world. And Diwali somewhere again tells you that when push comes to shove, there are things wherein, the Lord Vishnu or somebody has to come and clean the world. I mean, that's also an essential part of the Diwali. The prevalence of dharma, the steadiness of dharma, wherein a son, just for the vachan of his father, went to Vanvas of 14 years, his wife accompanied him, and the brother Lakshman, who had nothing to do with that vachan because the elder brother was going, he goes along with him, and there is one other brother, Shatrughan, Bharat, who is given the throne, but he keeps his brothers sleepers on the throne and says, Bhai, I am going to wait for you till the time you are back. And this is our tradition. And if we look at some of the contrary traditions, Bhai, you have a son chopping the heads of his two brothers and presenting to his father. I mean, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb.
Yeah.
So when this is the difference, that is what world is celebrating, Meghaji. This difference, this greatness, what world is celebrating, and we all as Indians and Hindus should be utmost proud of it. And I'm very happy to see all this fact resonating across the whole world. This ethos of ours being celebrated by the whole world. This
absolutely. Interesting facts that are also playing at the bottom of our screens as well. There are artists from Myanmar, Malaysia, Thailand, Nepal. They've all been invited. They are going to be performing. There's a massive light and dance show that has been created. There are these tableaus depicting the scenes from Ramayana that at this point of time are being played out for the people who have gathered in large numbers over there. And there was this the Kathakali dance, which is a prominent part of the South Indian culture, is also at this point of time being depicted. So this is a confluence of religions as well. It's a confluence of North and South and East and West and ASEAN nations, and like I spoke about, the entire world, including the West, that is celebrating this occasion.
I think, Meghaji, you're bang on. You're absolutely right. Look, first, there is no North and South divide in India. We are all, when it comes to Hindus and when it comes to Bhagwan Shri Ram, when we go to Ayodhya, there are more people from South India than North India. This is all my trips, personal experience I'm telling you. Secondly, look at Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Malaysia. These are the South Asian countries. So the Bhagwan Shri Ram's footprint is global. Bhagwan Shri Ram is everywhere in the world. That's a testimony to that. And most important thing, Indonesia is the highest Muslim population country in the world. But in Bali, in Indonesia, Ramayana is celebrated across the nooks and corners of Indonesia. When even you go to Jakarta, you will see Krishna and Arjuna on a rath. You will see Ganesha on their note. Garuda is still their national bird. Their national carrier is still called Garuda, and it is the most populous Muslim country of the world. Again, Malaysia, Ramayana being again celebrated, Ram Leela being again happening there. Now today our pride is what Yogiji should be complimented, getting the people from the highest, most populous Muslim country of Indonesia and a nicely populated Muslim country of Malaysia to come to Ayodhya ji and perform Ramayana. That is the greatness of the culture. That is what world should see. And the people who tell us you're Hindus, you're chauvinists, it's Hindu dominance and all, I want to tell them, what are people of Indonesia and Malaysia doing today? Isn't it a slap on those people who every day accuse us of being Hindus and being those, friction and being this, dividing the society? Now, what do you say to people coming from Indonesia and Malaysia at topmost, I mean, most densely populated Islamic countries and performing Ram Leela in Ayodhya ji.
Right,
It is humanity.
right, absolutely. Ravi, but I'm going to come to you and talking about, like I said, you know, the Kathakali, where they talk about Odishi dance form, the classical dance form, Bharatnatyam. Now, these are all dance forms that have emerged and have been revered, have been practiced and taken forward through generations from the southern parts of the country, whether it is Kerala or Odisha, or we talk about Tamil Nadu, and all of these dance forms, the classical artist representations have time and again narrated the Ramayana in their distinct forms and taken the story of Lord Ram across the world, within the country, across borders. So when there is a kind of a division that political leaders try to build between the north-south divide, there actually isn't any, but it is more importantly the confluence that at this point of time this entire event that is taking place is also focusing on.
Well, I agree. Meghna, I agree. And you said the confluence of different, the thought process of different regions and different faiths also to a great extent. Like I know on the Deepavali celebrated by Jainism Jains also, because on this day the Mahavir is assisted at 1525 BC, roughly on the 15th of October, a very rough estimate. It was he has got the Nirvana. Mahavir has got that's a kind of solution he has found. Then coming back to the Punjab, we say this is celebrated as Bandi Chhod Divas, because on this day, very day, the 6th Guru Hargobind Singh was released from the prison of Gwalior by the Jahangir, and the same, and they're very interesting. On the 15th of 1577, the Amritsar was founded on this very day, on the Deepavali. So you see, even it is celebrated in Buddhism also. It is celebrated. It is celebrated in Kerala also, as you know already. Different. Not only that, as you have already, as Sumit has already said, like Lord Krishna has killed the demon Narakasur. That the Narak Chaturdashi is celebrated here. So south, north, it is all over. Not only that, and out of India also, because the concept of Ramayana, the concept of a Ram, not only the Ram, this is the same here in Mahabharata also. This is a very important day because the Pandavas, they had, come out of the exile on this very day after 13 years of exile. They had come. So that is, and it is being referred in Padma Puran, it has been referred in Vishnu Puran, it has been referred in Kalika Puran. So, it has the references in Ramayana, it has the reference in Mahabharata, it has reference in Jainism, it has the reference in Lord Krishna's also, because this is celebrated, because in this very day, it is said that Parvati was playing the game of dice with the Lord Shiva, and she has won the game. And that she said anyone who is playing the game on this day, he will be, the gambling kind of not this the kind of gambling which has taken shape these days, but a very healthy kind of play, a dice game. The prosperity will come to him. And you see the importance of the New Year's starts on this day. The business community, for them it's a very important day for them. My take on this grand celebration in Ayodhya at this scale is simply, I'll say, it's a kind of it's a landmark day in the history of Sanatan history of recent history of India. The way it is being revived, it is a revival of Hinduism at such a grand scale, which has been ignored by the rulers, Mughal rulers, Britishers, and others. Now it is a revival, a kind of revival. See, after 200, 300 years, when the history will be read and written, this day will be considered as a revival of the Hinduism and Sanatana Dharma.
Okay, all right. Stay on with me, Ravi, but I'm also being joined by Joyita Basu. Joyita, a huge day for Indians across the globe, but it is not just for the Indians, but the world. Whether we talk about the Asian countries that are participating in this, we take a look. There's Myanmar, Malaysia, Thailand, Nepal. All the artists from all these countries have gathered together in Ayodhya today for a performance, for an artistic performance. And we take a look at how there has been, like I mentioned previously as well, that the world, whether it is President Joe Biden, whether it is Keir Starmer, they are all celebrating Diwali with the Indian diaspora over there. How big a significant and important day it is, and what is the significance of lighting these lakhs and lakhs of diyas today?
Well, when we are looking at the way the world is celebrating Diwali, this is, I would say, we have to look at it in two aspects of it. First of all, the peaceful way Hinduism, because it's ultimately Diwali is, of course, that primary festival of Hindus, of course, Sikhs also, Jains also, Buddhists also, they are also celebrating. So, the thing is that the peaceful way India has spread its culture, its knowledge, its Puranas to large sections, large parts of, I would say, Southeast Asia. That is why when you see people from Myanmar, from Thailand and so many other of these places who are coming together, when you look at Indonesia, look at a culture, Ramayan, because Diwali is ultimately about Ramayan and Lord Ram returning to Ayodhya. That is what people are celebrating. So, when you look at Indonesia and all these places, they still have that epic in their own way. These are Muslim countries. Indonesia is a Muslim country, but even then they have, they are still holding on to what they have got from India.
Right.
And you're looking at the diaspora. You see, this is one thing that you have to understand in terms of the Indian diaspora. The peaceful spread of the diaspora. Our people, our religion, we have not gone anywhere in the world with the sword. We have not spread across the world by dint of the sword, which many other religions have. It has been peaceful, hard-working people, and that tradition continues. It has been continuing through millennia, through centuries, and that is why, when it is kind of, and the very fact that these celebrations are happening in the US, in the UK, in the White House and all, think of the number of Indians who are there in the administration. Think of the number of the people who are in important positions. After all, Rishi Sunak was Prime Minister just until a few months ago. So, this shows the importance, the hold that the Indian diaspora has on the rest of the world, but peacefully. I think that is the most important message that India and Indians have given to the world.
Okay, Sumit, such striking visuals, it's stunning. There is a massive drone show that at this point of time has commenced. There's this beautiful light and dance show that you can also see on your screens. Like I said, tableaus that have been set up. There are going to be artists that are going to be performing very shortly. There was this beautiful Kathakali performance that was narrating the story of Ramayana, of Lord Ram and Sita, that was on your screens right now, and it's stunning, and it's going to be at 8 p.m. sharp when first of the 50 lakh diyas are going to be lit up, and that is going to be the start of the Guinness World Record that is going to be set in Ayodhya for the world to watch. Sumit, spectacular, crores and crores of rupees have been spent, that is going to culminate Diwali, Deepotsav tomorrow.
I think, Meghaji, when you talk of such historical event, because what Raviji said and what I've been saying and what you've been also saying, and Joyita ji also, this is history in making. This has come after 550 years. So, paise ki to value nahi iske samne. And if you look at the quantum of tourists which are coming into Ayodhya ji, and if you look at 10 lakh tourists which are even there today, do a 10 lakh into 5,000 per head. Money doesn't really matter. Ayodhya has got, I don't know how many crore tourists, so money is not a big thing. But that sense of Hindutva, that sense of Hinduism, that giving message to the world, look, this is what we have waited for 550 years. We waited peacefully, we went by the rule of the law, we wanted the rule of the law prevail, and when we have got it rightfully what belonged to us, we are celebrating it. And today, when anybody comes Today, the people who want to know the power of Deepavali, I will tell them, go to the moon and look down on the earth. You will see entire Bharat. You don't need any telescope. You don't need anything. That is the power of Deepavali. It is the only Hindu festival. It is celebrated length, breadth of the country. There is everybody and anybody who believes in Sanatana Dharma participates in this Deepavali. And when the epicenter is going to be Ayodhya ji, the onus was on Manani Mukhyamantri Yogi Adityanath ji to make it much larger than life, make it to an extent where the world would envy it. I wanted the world to envy it, and this is exactly what is going to happen, because these records which are set, the world is going to envy it. Because, you know, when I look at the footfall in Vatican, or when I look at it in Makkah, and when I compare it to Ayodhya ji, I mean, there is no comparison. Ayodhya ji is, you know, miles apart. So we are not trying to do a comparison here, but this is the grandeur which we had to announce, Megha ji. 550 years of waiting, बहुत लोगों ने जान दी है. Lot of people have sacrificed their lives. That is why you and me are making this history. I mean, I have to thank you. I have to thank you, Colonel.
No, even as you talk about it, that's the spectacular, beautiful drone show that is being launched there. I think hundreds and thousands of them. They at this point of time made the formations, and those are the diyas. You know, the most significant. You know, what symbolizes Diwali is the ghee diyas. And the symbol is so remarkable, and the story behind it even more. Ravi, let's hear it from you about you know, it's Diwali tomorrow. Today is Choti Diwali, Deepotsav being celebrated in Ayodhya. What is the message that goes out to the world?
The message is very loud and clear. The message is, you know, that invariably, no matter what the twists and turns of the events are, ultimately evil is going to be defeated by the truth. So that is the reason, you know, that this message is there, and it shows that how long, you know, after a lot of struggle, you know, at the end of the day, the truth will prevail. You know, that is the message is being given by this grand show at Ayodhya, all over the world. And, you know, as far as India is concerned, you know, the Hindus has always invariably believed in the peace, and peacefully they have done everything. See, with Hinduism, there is not a single festival where you will find the violence is associated with that, and that is the reason. That is the reason that it is being liked and approved by the people from other religions also. And you will find the people who are not even from Indians. Even you just you scan through the different religions, you will find that even Christians, they are impressed by that. Even to certain and the Muslim. Now here I would like to mention something which is generally not mentioned. You know that even the Muslims used to. I'm talking of the roughly period of 1775, around that period. Even the Muslims were celebrating Diwali in the Awadh, where the Awadh, you know, Awadh is the region where Ayodhya is there, and Ayodhya is being derived from the Awadh only. So this in a region of the Awadh, even the Muslims were so much impressed that they were also lighting the lamps, and even they were indulging in the practice of gambling also. They were buying the toys made of the sugar. They were buying all those customs, except that, you know, praying. They were practicing all those things of Diwali. Muslims are talking about.
And that's what the message of camaraderie and brotherhood is, and that's what Diwali sends out. And I would say when our Muslim brethren or our Christian brothers and sisters are celebrating Christmas and New Year and Eid, we all are participant in it. We celebrate it with full rigor, and that has been the tradition of people across the globe, and India is no different. Yes, Ravi.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
I said I am not making a general statement. I am being a historian. I am very specifically mentioning it about the Lucknow and Awadh. It was very, very openly celebrated by the Muslims also, and not doing that was considered by Muslims even the inauspicious. That is what, as a historian, I am making a very specific statement, not generalizing it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Coming to you, Joyita, again, you know, the very ethos of a religious event, a celebration such as big as Diwali is to bring people together. From across religions, across communities, language barriers are broken, territorial barriers are broken, and that's how significant Diwali is, because it transcends all boundaries and all borders.
Yes, you are absolutely right, and especially when we are looking at this event in Ayodhya, you have to think of also in terms of, I mean, of course, it's very big, because as Sumit also said, 550 years, after 550 years, that Diwali is being celebrated when the Ram Mandir is already there. So, you see, apart from that, I mean, look at the kind of technology that is being used. When we are looking at, maybe 5 lakh, whatever 5 lakhs, 25 lakhs lamps have been, are being used. There are people who are crying in terms of, look at the wastage of money. No, it is not. Think in terms of the kind of technology that is being used, the job generation that is happening, the employment generation that is happening, the business cycle that is kind of moving there in very high speed. Think of the kind of oil and ghee that you talked about, think of the sales going up. So, any celebration like this gets the economy of that a particular area and the hinterland surrounding it moving. So, I would say, so many things are involved here, apart from the fact when we are talking about values, about camaraderie, about friendship and all these things, how the inclusiveness. Along with that, a very practical side is also this, that how every celebration like this, and this in particular, gives jobs, employment to so many people.
Absolutely, that's a very interesting, important aspect Jyota has touched upon. Sumit, talk about the kind of preparation that has gone into this. Weeks and weeks of preparation that you would have brought artists, you would have gotten engineers, like you said, there are volunteers that at this point of time have also been roped in for making this project, for making this initiative and event a success, and therefore there was disgruntlement among the people of Ayodhya back in the day when Lok Sabha elections were taking place. Their lives and livelihoods had been taken away. Disgruntlement was actually very visible in the number of votes that BJP got and lost the election in Ayodhya. And this is, a start of a new chapter, that, the revival of people, their work, their livelihoods, and events such as huge as these are then going to support locals in helping them thrive in the profession, in the work that they're doing.
It was the first time I talked to an e-rickshaw wala. He said we were making 500 rupees before the Pran Pratishtha, and after Pran Pratishtha we were making 1800 to 2000 rupees minimum per day. This is my first hand account. So the incomes have gone 3 times. When you get into auto rickshaw, when you get into portal, when you get into wherever, taxi wala, do you ask the religion? No. Whoever comes, you just pay the money, right? Imagine just for today, there are 10 lakh people there. 10 lakh into 5,000 rupees per head, 4,000 rupees per head, you spend in 2 days there. It's a few $100 million of business already I'm talking about. And if you have crores of people going there, and when we spend money, we don't ask the religion, we don't ask the caste, we don't ask anything. We are just doing it for there. So this is also the concept of Sanatani economy, wherein mandirs and where the epicenter. Now this Ayodhya ji, rain, sun or shine, every time of the month, every time of the year, people will start going there. And now when you talk of organizing such a big events, when these volunteers, even they came in, they will spend money. Diyas you brought in, that will spend money. Ghee, that will be batti, music, lighting, drones. Everywhere the money is getting spent, and because you are spending so much money, that is why people across the India, and even people, they'll be coming. I'm very sure people, especially Hindus living from various parts of the world, would have come there to witness this and to get and to have a look and feel of it. If you look at the Ram Ghat which has been made, it's fantastic. If you look at the light and sound arrangements there, even in a normal day are fantastic. There's a light and sound show every day. And even that, people have been taking, what I saw in Ayodhya when I went there after the Pran Pratishtha, people have been coming with a bottle, Meghaji, putting a little bit of soil and taking it to home. Even I did the same. You know why? Because they say कि Ayodhya की मिट्टी ले रहे हैं. And people who are living out of the India, when they take, they say कि we have to keep it in our mandir or the home temple or घर का जो मंदिर है उसमें रखते हैं. That is the amount and quantum of dedication. This is something which takes so much of time, energy, and you have to talk about security, you have to talk about keeping a check on the nefarious elements, you have to talk about intelligence, you have to talk about transport, you have to talk about living, food, transport, so many things. Even if you get volunteers, you have to provide them food, living, and other basic things. So organizing these events, which are immediately hitting the Guinness World Records, is not easy. So this is another thing which Yogi Adityanath ji is displaying to you. If Sarkar wants, or if Shastra wants, even impossible things can be done at a very seamless way. It's the question of the political will. If you have the political will, you can do it.
Okay, all right. Hindol Sengupta also on the telecast with me. Hindol, the question is, at this point, you're doing, this huge event with great pomp and show. You have not pinched pennies. There is this massive, scintillating show of how Diwali is celebrated in Ayodhya, the birthplace of Lord Ram, and this was the day when he actually returned home, and the people celebrated in joy and lit diyas. And this significance of the festival at this point of time, the message being sent across not just to Indians within the country and Indians living abroad, but people across the globe. Do you think this message has resonated with the world after the building of the Ayodhya Ram temple, and now this bid to set a Guinness World Book of Records?
I think it's important to note at this juncture, Megha, that the Ramayan is not just a great, grand, wonderful epic of India, but it has resonances in various parts of the world. An Oxford colleague of mine wrote this beautiful book called Ram, A Global History, which spoke about the resonances of the Ramayan in various parts of the world. We know, for instance, that the Ramayan is popular across Southeast Asia, but there's also Korea, there's also Japan. Did you know, for instance, that the black sorority sisters in the time of the suffragette movement actually used the story of Ramayan to make the plea for a greater and a more independent framework of social existence for women and gender parity. Now there are countless such examples around the world where people have used the great, wonderful story of Prabhu Shri Ram and the examples set in the Ramayan. Sadly, we in India we don't know about these things. I do think the coming up of the Ram temple gives us a renewed fulcrum through which we can spread these stories around the world.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.